Good afternoon and a very warm welcome back to the channel. I've owned my Royal Enfield Bear for just over 6 months now, and I've now covered 1,000 miles on this bike, and overall I absolutely love it. However, in that time I've got to know a couple of little things that do frustrate me about the bike. So if you're in the market for one of these, keep on watching. Now, the first thing that frustrates me about this bike is the weight. It weighs 214 kilos. Now that may not sound like a huge amount, and when compared with my Royal Enfield 411 Himalayan, it's actually not a massive amount more. But there's two main issues with this bike. The first of which is it holds its weight very, very high. So it does feel like quite a substantial unit. The second thing, and hopefully you can see in this shot, is that it leans over quite a long way on the side stand. So if you are a little bit smaller in stature, you're trying to get off the side stand. I mean, it's doable, of course it is, but it is a little bit of a heave. So just something to be mindful of, something I didn't really notice on the test ride. Sometimes you don't, you get super, super excited about it. So yeah, if you are in the market for one of these, just something to be wary of. Sorry folks, while I'm down now, I'm gonna have a bit more of a rant about the stand. Royal Enfield make fantastic looking bikes with fantastic engines that people want to buy. So why on earth can they not get a stand right? Why could they not make this a little bit longer? It seems that pretty much every bike they produce, the stand isn't quite right. The other kind of second frustration linked to the stand is the lack of a centre stand. Now, the Royal Enfield Interceptor comes with a centre stand, the Royal Enfield Himalayan comes with a centre stand. And I think one of the main reasons this doesn't is because of all of the gubbins to meet the Euro kind of emission regs are underneath the bike. But come on, Royal Enfield, just put a centre stand on it from standard. Even if it was £100 extra, I'm sure a lot of people would really, really appreciate that. I know I would. So if you are going to be buying one of these, just be wary. If you're after a centre stand, it doesn't have one. I believe Hitchcocks do have one in the works. I'll flash it up on screen if that's now available. But again, it's something you've got to do that you don't really want to do after you've just bought the bike. You just want to get out and ride it. So that's the second thing that frustrates me about this bike. Okay folks, I do promise this is my third and final rant linked to the stand. So as you can see, I've decided to opt for the official Royal Enfield panniers, which look fantastic, are waterproof and work really, really well. However, because of how much the bike leans over, you can see that that bag is very, very low to the ground, which makes it a little bit more tricky than it really should be to load and unload. So again, ½ an inch difference to the stand would sort that. So come on, Royal Enfield, let's sort it out. So my third frustration with the bike is to do with the tank. So it's got a 13.7 litre capacity, which essentially means, especially with my kind of style of riding, is that every 110 miles or so, the warning light comes on the fuel gauge. So as good as this tank looks, and trust me, it really, really does, a little bit of capacity, extra capacity would be nice. That being said, I've just had a bit of a rant about the weight and how high up the bike holds it. So of course, if you can increase the capacity of the tank, you're also going to increase the rate. So I guess really Royal Enfield have kind of maybe hit a bit of a sweet spot with it. But yeah, if it did 150 miles before the warning light came on, that of course would be preferable. Now my next frustration of this bike is something that I really want to get on the bike and take it for a ride and kind of show you. But unfortunately today I've been out for the best part of 3 hours and I haven't been able to replicate it. But sometimes the bike will jump out of gear and just rev. Now there's no kind of pattern to it. It happens on upshifts, it happens on downshifts. Now to begin with, I didn't think I was being as kind of assertive as I needed to be with the gear change. So I've made a really, really conscious effort to be, really precise when I change gear now. And occasionally it does still hop out of gear. That may just be a problem linked to this particular bike. If you have had a similar issue with your Royal Enfield Bear, I'd love to know about it down in the comment section below. Would it put me off buying this bike? No, it wouldn't. I still love it. But yeah, just something to be aware of. Now, I almost forgot to mention this. One of the most frustrating things that I find about the Royal Enfield Bear is the dash. The dash itself is fantastic. It's beautifully clear, displays everything you need to know. But if you put the indicator on, nothing, oh, there is something behind me now. Tell you what, I'll pull in. I just stop, lean over the bike, put it in neutral rather than second. Can you see that on the Insta? That tiny little indicator icon down there that really isn't big enough or good enough. I think Enfield could very, very easily solve that issue with the software update. So again, I don't know if you can see the right here, kind of leaning over it a bit, but yeah, bit of a bugbear for me, the indicator. And my final little word of warning with this bike is the seat height. So the seat height on this is 830 millimeters, and for context, I'm 5'7.5". Now the weight combined with the seat height, combined with how far this bike leans over, means it is quite difficult to get it off the side stand, so just be wary of that. Now, I've been riding for 22 years now, and even when I come to a junction or a set of traffic lights, again, because of my height, I do kind of struggle to fully flat foot it. I can get, I can flat foot this, but the pegs kind of get in the way. So I'm never 100% confident with this when I come to a standstill. So if you have somebody that's just passed your test and loves the look of one of these, but you're a little bit short in stature, maybe not quite as confident, just be a little bit wary and make sure you fully assess the weight and the seat height before you buy one of these bikes. Okay folks, is the Royal Enfield Bear perfect? Well, if you watch this video, you'll know it isn't. But having said that, would I buy this bike with my own money? Again, absolutely. Looks fantastic, it's got a great engine, and you get so much character with this bike. I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. It's a great value proposition as well. So if you are in the market for a modern classic, especially a kind of scrambler style bike, I would definitely make the Bear at the top of your shortlist. But do make sure you take a little bit of note on the test ride, just to make sure the bike is right for you. But anyway guys, as always, thank you all so very much for watching. Take care, ride safe, and until the next time, goodbye.